Coming up in this episode of Pickleball Breakdown, Alex and I go deep on stacking, when to stack, and how to break stack breakers. Never heard of that? Well, you will. We also borrow a rule of thumb from baseball outfielders on how to improve your communications in pickleball. And around the post, you gotta see to believe.
Oh, what?
And oh yeah, hit that subscribe button right there. You know you want to. Go ahead. We'll wait. No, really, we're gonna wait. Way to go. Let's break it down. Here's how this works. You send us highlights, great plays, good plays, and not so good plays. With the help of Coach Alex Fox, we break it down. You learn, we watch, and we all get better. This is Pickleball Breakdown.
All right, Alex, let me set this up for you. This is from Port Townsend, Washington. We've got Tony and Charlene on the near court, and on the far court over there is Mary and Susie. The first thing I'm going to bring up, Alex, is that Charlene, I don't know if you noticed this or not. I'm sure you did. Charlene is a lefty.
I did notice that, but Frank, I'm a little surprised that you did.
Well,
you're learning.
I'm learning. Baby steps, Alex. Baby steps. What I think is interesting, and something that we've only talked about ever so lightly with Michelle Esquivel, is stacking and the rules of stacking.
I always actually play with lefties. I play with Rob Cassidy, Tyler Loom. I'm right-handed, so I play on the left, and that keeps my strength in the middle and their strength in the middle as well.
I love that they're stacking here. I love to stack. I love playing with lefties because I love to stack. But I hear all the time from other, people when I bring it up, or even when lefties, when I bring it up, they're like, no, I get confused. Or it's too hard to remember. But it's not, folks. It really isn't. Alex, what's the easiest way to remember when you're stacking where you're supposed to be?
So, I would say the easiest way is just to know if it's an odd score, you're in an odd place.
Okay.
That's how I remember it. So if you're even, everything is right in the world, and if it's an odd score, you're in an odd place.
The little trick that I do when I'm stacking is I announce the score to our team every time, and then we reset. We make sure we're in the right place. So that's it. Just always remember what your score is. Remember whether you're the even person or the odd person, and then just reset yourself for every point. One of the things that I totally get befuddled by is why people choose, when they're receiving the serve, why they would line up on the same side of the court. If you're up at the kitchen because you're not receiving it, and then the person receiving's got to run all the way over, why would you choose to do that versus just being at the line and switching?
Frank, you're overanalyzing this. So really, let me ask you this. What difference does it make if you, as the person who's not the returner, is sliding to your left, or if you're sliding to your right?
I feel safer when I'm up at the line, and it feels like I'm overexposed to a big shot from the other team to just hit it right down the far side of the court from me.
I get where you're coming from. I do, but really, it's the same. Like you're just filling in right there. If you're lined up, if you're starting off the court, you're just filling in. It's still only a couple steps. And the key here is actually the return of serve. I'm going to want to return down the line, not cross court. If I return cross court, now it's a foot race. I have to get there before they can pass me down the line. If I return up the line, now they're going to have to beat me cross court, and that's just not typically going to happen.
I love that idea. So you're actually, as the receiving team in a stack, you've got control about, unless you can't handle their serve, you've got absolute control about where you're going to put that return to give you the best shot to get back into position.
Absolutely. Yeah. And on the flip side of that, if I'm playing somebody who's stacking, I'm still usually always going to hit it to the crosser, to the returner who's trying to get cross court.
Okay.
And I'm not, my mindset is not to try to pass them or hit a winner. It's just to simply make them hit that ball in transition.
Can I give you one more little trick that I try to do to beat the stack? I'll do a short, soft serve just over the kitchen.
I see.
You know, so that the receiver's got to run up, and now they're both clustered over there.
What I call that is serving into the stack.
Okay.
And I'm not a fan of serving short, but I will do that. I will serve out wide into where to get both players on the same side of the court.
Yeah.
So similar concept, yeah, but they actually have a farther distance to run that way if we get if they're pulled off wide and deep-ish.
Yeah.
That way they still got to run all the way to the kitchen instead of already being at the kitchen, then having to just be direction.
Yet another reason why I love playing people who's against the stack, and I love playing the stack because it just introduces all kinds of interesting things.
You're starting to see stacking a lot more at the pro level too, and not just righty-lefty. And we're talking about in gender doubles, so not just in mixed, but to really gain an advantage.
A true story, I was playing with a lefty today. I think it was 10-9 before I realized he was a lefty, and I asked him to start stacking.
Wow. And you realized that Charlene was a lefty on the first time you ever watched this video, I'm guessing, right?
Well, I'm very proud of that.
Let's get back to this point. First, a quick shout out to Tony and Charlene on how well they worked their way up here, very patiently up to the line, perfectly in sync, really well done. And then I want to call your attention to Mary on the left there, who sent wide to her right, but goes around the post with the lob shot.
Holy hell. It wasn't around the post lob.
That's the first around the post lob in the history of pickleball. It's brilliant.
Well, it might be an over the post. I don't think it. Can you call around if it's that high?
Look where she is when she strikes the ball, and there's no way that ball went over the post. Good for her, man. She got out there. I'm going to call it. I'm calling it. It's an around the post lob shot by Mary. One of the things I noticed when I was watching Mary and Susie and Tony and Charlene play, and they really play smart pickleball, right? Look, we're not all youngsters like you, Alex, and we can't move the way we used to move, and we have to bring our wits with us a little bit more as we get older and become more mature pickleball players. And these ladies do exactly that. And one of the things, and I'm gonna just play this for just a minute and let you listen, because the communication, I couldn't really tell who was I think it was all four of them. The communication on this point was absolutely brilliant.
It's good. You. Mine.
It's just a really brief exchange, but it got my attention and I love it. I think it was Tony who said, like after a lob, she said, good. And then she said, you, mine. And she was just really communicating really well. And I just love that.
Yeah, you really can't over communicate on the pickleball court. Even if there's any doubt in whose it might be, or if it's in or out, you might as well just say it. If they already know, that's great. It can just be a reinforcement then. So yeah, communicate.
I had a guy tell me a couple of weeks ago that only call my balls. Don't say you. Do you subscribe to that?
Kind of. From the baseball player in me.
He was a baseball player.
Yeah. I mean, you only call mine.
Mine.
As long as you guys are just on the same page, it doesn't matter. Like your guy that you're talking about, if it bothers him, then hey, it bothers him. Don't do it. So.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. And he was communicating to me. Don't
there
say
you go.
you.
Communication is communication too.
Okay, so only one other thing from this foursome that I really liked was on this play here, Charlene, the lefty, is going to go to her right, and she doesn't overthink it. She doesn't go cross court. She doesn't do a lob when she's in trouble, like we've already seen in this point. But she just does a little drop shot right into the center. Good safe shot, got her back into the point. They ended up losing the point, but again, just reinforcing something that you've told us before. To get yourself out of trouble, go with that that soft dink shot right across from where you are.
Right. Yeah. There's no need to make it harder on yourself or try to come up with the goods when it's just not necessary. Neutralize, reset, look for offensive opportunity from there.
Mine.